Okay, pre-calc kids, welcome to lesson 5-4, our lesson on sums and differences of trigonometric angles. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Okay, in class we will derive using this slide. Okay, the formulas for sums and differences of sines and cosines and tangents. Okay, so we'll do that in class. But if you look at page 8 in your note packet, you can see now all the formulas for the sums and differences of sine, the sums and differences of cosine, and the sum of tan and the difference of tan. Okay, so those are our sums and difference formulas. Let's see how we use them. Okay, so as I look at this problem right here, I see cosine, I'm looking for cosine of 165. Well, 165 is an angle I cannot find the cosine of without a calc because it's not a special right triangle. But I can think of 165 as 120 plus 45. In other words, I can think of cosine of 165 as cosine of the sum of the angles 120 plus 45. So I'm going to use my formula now. Okay, my sum formula for cosine, which is cosine u plus v, is equal to cos u cos v minus sine u sine v. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace u with 120 and v with 45. So this is equal to now cos 120 times cos 45 minus sine 120 times sine 45. Okay, cosine of 120, that's the second quadrant, 60. So cosine of 120 is negative 1/2. I'm going to change colors here. Negative 1/2 times cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2 minus sine of 120. Well, sine of 120 is root 3 over 2. And sine of 45 is again root 2 over 2. So it looks like I have now negative up on this side. I have negative 1 times root 2 is neg root 2 over 2 times 2, which is 4, minus root 3 times root 2, which is root 6 over 2 times 2, which is 4. I have a common denominator right there in the 4 and the 4. So this just now equals neg root 2 minus root 6 all over 4. Okay, I can also think of cosine of 165 as a difference. Like, let's think of 165. I can't find that without a calc, but I'm going to think of 165 as 210 minus 45. Notice that both 210 and 45 are special right triangles, so I can figure them out without a calc. So I'm going to use my difference of cosines formula now, which is cosine u minus v is equal to cos u cos v plus sine u sine v. Once again, I'm going to flip-flop u and v for 210 and 45. So this is equal to cosine of u, which is cos 210, times cos of 45, plus sine of 210 times sine of 45. Let's switch colors. Cosine of 210, that's a third quadrant 30, so that's going to be neg root 3 over 2. Times cosine of 45, we know is root 2 over 2. Plus sine of 210, that's negative 1/2. Sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. So I have, again, up top here on the first side, on the left side, I got neg root 3 times root 2, which is neg root 6 over 4, 2 times 2, plus negative root 2 over 2 times 2 is 4. This, of course, equals now negative root 6 minus root 2 all over 4. And you'll notice it's the same answer as we got the last time. Of course it is. Okay, this is a problem that is like from your homework. Okay, but what it says here is sine 130 times cosine 50 plus cosine 130 times sine 50. They're saying write this as a single trigonometric expression. So this kind of rings a bell. This looks like a lot to me, like sine u cosine v plus cosine u sine v. Well, that we know, of course, is the sum of sines formula. So I know now that sine u cos v plus cos u sine v is equal to sine of u plus v. So all I'm going to do now is replace u with 130, cos or v with 50. So this is sine 130 plus 50, which of course now is sine of 180. Well, sine of 180 we know is 0. So my final answer is 0. Okay, let's look at this problem right here. In exercises 43 to 46, find the exact value of the trigonometric expression when sine u is equal to 5/13 and cosine v is equal to neg 3/5. Both u and v are in quadrant 2. So what I've done here is I've drawn two second quadrant triangles right here. I'm going to put u in the first one and v in the second. And yes, you are correct. Technically speaking, u is this angle right here, and v is this angle right here. But we're looking at the triangles, and these guys right here are my reference angles. But any which way, I know that sine of u is 5/13. So this must be 5. This must be 13, and this would be neg 12. And I know that cosine v is neg 3/5, so this must be neg 3. This is 5, and of course this is 4. Okay, so in 43, if I want to find sine u plus v, I know that sine u cos v plus cos u sine v. Let's switch colors. So sine u, of course, is 5/13. Cos v is neg 3/5 plus cos u is negative 12/13, and sine v is 4/5. So on the left side here, if I multiply these out on the bottom, I get 13 times 5 is 65. Up top, I got 5 times neg 3 is neg 15. Plus, on the bottom, again, I have 65. Up top, I got neg 48. Well, neg 15 plus neg 48 is neg 63 over 65. And there is my sine of u plus v. Okay, so if I look at 45, cosine u minus v, okay, cosine u minus v is equal to cosine u cos v plus sine u sine v. Okay, I'm going to replace u with this angle and v with these angles. So cos u is negative 12/13. Cos v is neg 3/5. Okay, sine u is 5/13, and sine v is 4/5. So again, it looks like here, if I do some simping, on the bottom, I got 13 times 5 is 65. Neg 12 times neg 3 is positive 36, plus 13 times 5 on the bottom is 65. 5 times 4 is 20. 36 plus 20 is 56. 56 over 65 is my final answer. All right, folks, I think that's it. Have a great day. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Adios.